I'm Duncan Riak, and this is How to Be Loved by a Woman. So the topic today is, well, actually the topic's going to unfold as I talk. So, you know, a lot of guys have these different issues. Like sometimes they're like, oh, women are always putting me in the friend zone, you know, and other guys are like, well, you know, I go and have a lot of one-night stands and stuff and have a lot of sex, but I never end up getting into a relationship. Or there's men who are married and then their wives have affairs, and then they're like their whole life falls apart. And so all of these things, all of these different scenarios, the thing that's in common with them is, I believe, is the balance between safety and threat. And there's this quality there are these qualities to being a man that have to be balanced. And on the one hand, one of the aspects of being a man is being strong and protective and providing a protective function and safety. And the other function of being a man is being powerful and aggressive. And so these two parts of being a man need to be present and need to be fully expressed. And both of them are attractive to women for different reasons. And often they're not present, or they're not expressed fully or richly, completely. They're not both expressed in the same man. Like sometimes they end up being partly expressed by different people, and women end up being confused and, you know, wanting to be safe with a man that's going to raise the children, and then the man that's going to be this passionate lover and is going to sweep her off her feet and kind of, you know, what's the word, take her and you know, be Italian with her, or be whatever, you know, be like really super passionate. Okay, so there's this balance, these two things. It turns out that if you are a man, then you have these parts inside you, and you can actually have them present and expressed at all times. Okay, because they flow out of you naturally. They're trying to flow out of you. I believe that the reason why, especially the aggressive, sexual, dominant, passionate part of men is often shamed. In some men it's shamed, and so they've grown up to feel that there's something wrong with this part of themselves, and they have to hide it. And so then that energy is there, but it comes out in a kind of a warped way, and it's sort of kind of creepy. It can often be kind of creepy, and it's like, I'm going to take care of you now, and I'm going to hold you, but there's this sexual aggression which is coming through. It's kind of like, I feel ashamed of it, so I'm going to try and pretend I don't have that, but then I'm going to be all safe with you. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this guy's being really creepy, right? Because he's got all this sexual energy that's not, he himself is not aware of it or validating it. So unconscious, self-shamed sexual energy can seem creepy. And then there are men who just haven't developed enough understanding of how delicate women are and how they really need to feel safe, because they're super vulnerable, right? They literally have to spend all their time worrying about whether people are going to rape them, going to kill them. You know, like, their safety is so much. I can just walk around anywhere, pretty much anywhere, any time of day or night, and I feel safe. And women can't do that. So, yeah, I want to, you know, when you start talking about sexual, aggressive sexuality and male, like, sexual dominance and stuff like that, you get into the whole realm of rape and, you know, men using women as objects and all that kind of stuff, and the idea of like non-consent and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that you understand that I'm not talking about rape, right? I'm not talking about having sex with someone against their consent. I'm not talking about harming anybody. I'm talking about accessing the part of you who is a passionate, strong, powerful lover who takes what he wants within a framework of care and consent. Okay. And I want to explain, there's this archetype. I was trying to think of a way to really compactly explain kind of what you're looking for, to sort of have a kind of a landmark that you can look at to see how you're doing, right? So that landmark is the archetype of the benevolent dominant, okay? So like in a sexual context, so when you're having sex, how easily and freely can you embody the role of a sexually dominant role, where you are doing what you want, having what you want, able to do things like manhandle the woman, you know, pull her hair right once you know that she's enjoying that, just maneuver her around, do anything you want kind of thing, like really go for what you want, but at the same time be holding it within a framework of being caring and loving and protective, so that you are creating the safe container, you are protecting the woman, but at the same time you're also being what would be called like a sexual threat, like you're creating a situation which is very stimulating, exciting for the woman, and is going to enable her to release. I'll talk more about releasing female sexual energy and like allowing the feminine to sort of blossom, but allowing this flow of female sexual energy which you can hold, which is can be very transformative and can be threatening to aspects of the self for the woman. And so what degree can you allow yourself to embody these two things at the same time, to fuck her really hard and really passionately and fucking really do it, like you kind of want to rip her apart kind of thing. You could even say that to her, I feel like I want to rip you apart with my cock, right? And at the same time be able to kiss her gently on her cheek and say, and I'm keeping you safe as well at the same time, right? So consider the degree to which you can embody those two things at the same time, and that's like a way of detecting or sensing where you're at with these two parts and where you might need to develop one part or the other. You know, you might be a bad boy, and I'm telling you all this stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, I do all that shit, you know, I do all that, but it's like you don't actually have a container. You're not actually containing the woman at all, and so you know, you have a one-night stand, and then she doesn't want to have a relationship with you. You know, she's going to go back to some other guy who's going to like take care of her or whatever, and you're like, oh, I don't have a girlfriend, you know. Or maybe you're completely the other side and you're like, oh, you wouldn't want to, you shouldn't, ladies are ladies, you know, you have to be really gentle, you shouldn't grab them, you know, you shouldn't aggressively fuck them, you should gently and smoothly fuck them like you're rolling pastry, you know. And it's like you got to figure out where you fall on that and see if you can explore both sides, get to the other side of it and feel both sides of it. And so a woman can sense whether you're safe, and a woman can sense whether you're passionate and whether you're aggressive, and it's like she wants to feel both of those things. That's ideally what women want, and you actually have both of those things. You have both of those parts inside of yourself. And there's something else I wanted to say about this. Wow, I can't remember what else I was going to say. I want to make so many videos about this kind of thing. There's so many aspects to it and areas to it, and I just want to finish up by saying, make sure that whoever you're having sex with is fully consenting, is not under the influence of drugs, is not unconscious, is clearly willing, and maybe even you have a safe word if you're doing BDSM kind of stuff. There's a safe word that's been pre-agreed. Oh yeah, the thing I was going to say is also, as you're dating, if you're dating, you want to be like feeling the balance between these two things. How are you being overly kind of like safe, and so you're going into the friend zone? Are you being overly aggressive, and so you're becoming like this one-night stand thing? She's, you know, or you know, so as you're going through, if you're dating, if you're not in a relationship, like how are you walking this line? How do you normally walk this line as you're dating? Notice in the dates and the relationships that you may be beginning now. How are you? Where do you fall in this spectrum, and what's it like to move around in this spectrum? So I hope that's helpful, and tune in for more videos. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon.